One of the things that we are able to do to expressions is what's called evaluating them. Here's what it means to evaluate an expression. First, before we can begin, we have to know what numbers each variable represents. If we don't know that, we cannot evaluate the expression. Once we do know that, well, we replace each variable with the number that it represents, and then we actually work out the arithmetic following order of operations. So when we see evaluate 3 plus 5 times 2 minus 7, well, okay, we don't see any variables, so there's nothing to do with those first two parts. We just need to work out all the arithmetic. Order of operations says we should multiply first. So we'll have 3 plus 10 minus 7. And now addition and subtraction from left to right. 3 plus 10 is 13. And then 13 minus 7 is 6. Notice, the result of evaluating an expression is just a single number. No variables, no equal signs, just a number. Oh, also notice that string of equal signs is used correctly. I really am claiming that all four of those expressions are equal. Alright, let's see an example that includes some variables. Suppose we're asked to evaluate 3xy minus x squared minus y plus 4 when x equals 5 and y equals 2. Notice what's happened here. We were just told the values of the variables. In a more complicated problem, we might need to go out and somehow locate the values of the variables before we could make this calculation. Alright, so x is 5 and y is 2. That means that everywhere we see an x, we should write a 5, and everywhere we see a y, we should write a 2. One way you can get into the practice of evaluating expressions, and in particular of substituting into expressions in this way, is first copy the expression and just put a set of parentheses with space inside it everywhere you see a variable. And if you have several variables, you might put a little label underneath each set of parentheses, just so you remember which value to fill in. Now take your 5 and fill it in every space labeled X. Take your 2 and fill it in every space labeled Y. Now you no longer have a variable expression. Now you only have a numeric expression, which you can evaluate according to the order of operations. So here's an exponent. I'm going to do that first. Notice no symbol between these parentheses or between these letters means multiply. So we have 3 times 5 times 2 minus 5 squared is 25 minus 2 plus 4. Okay, next, multiplication. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 times 2 is 30. 30 minus 25 is 5. 5 minus 2 is 3. And 3 plus 4 is 7. The only new part is this replacing variables with their value. The rest of this is just obeying the order of operations.